Yo, we here. DJ Hampton Stampede, we in the building.
Run! It's just the Stampede! DJ Ham the Stamp. DJ Ham the Stampede.
Dorsey in the building. What's poppin'?
What's happening? What's good?
Everything. See, I had to get dressed up for you and all that.
Shit like that.
Doing your thing. You ain't here.
I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. I'm smiling all hard and shit.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Listen, that's what life about.
Indeed. I like it. Love, give me 1 second. I just got to say salute to the chat. Salute to the people in the building so far. We're only 20 minutes in. We got 120 people in the building already. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Salute to Gail, Mark G, Lionel, Fred, Almanize. Josh in the building. Love C in the building. Cool Gamer was popping. Observe Stoicism. I see you. CC, Travel One. I like it.
Shit like that.
That was popping. Key in the building. Okay. Steppenwolf here, of course. Love Dubious. Salute. I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Nick, what up? Melly was good. Yeah, Mel, you already know. All right, man, I like it. Night in the building. Love Doobie with the $10 says supporting.
Shit like that.
Indeed.
I see you got him on here. Okay.
Yeah, hey, man, listen.
Shit like that.
Perfect.
We're getting it popping. Marcus, Vet Life. We like it, man. 133 people we have. I got to check the likes, love, because they be bullshitting on the likes. We have 88 likes. Not terrible.
Man, y'all stop playing and hit the like button. What y'all doing?
Wow.
Hey, let me share this shit to my page right now.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, I think that the likes is free too, but they be acting stingy with the likes.
I don't know why, and then y'all know if he got me on here, it's lit. Y'all
Shit like that.
Perfect.
I tried to tell him. You know, he knows Matt. Hey, Love Dorsey, I will say I got a dope community, man, of support. And it really means a like. Just something about that like button they hate, but everything else they do pretty well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Damn, man. We're gonna get started here shortly. Granville with the $5 says, Dorsey, I love you.
Let's go. Let's go, GBGville.
Damn, man, he already, boy. I'm gonna call you after this.
Let's go.
Damn, man. Judah, he said, Shalom, Hamp, peace and blessings to all. What's poppin', my brother? DJ Tim Smooth with the $5 says, what up, DJ Hamp? Hey, man, I'm doing my best, man. We got Love Dorsey in the building. We can't ask for much more than that. Man, oh man, I want to say first and foremost, I've definitely watched your content, right? But as I was looking for people that would bless me with their presence on the platform and just seeing the videos and such, I was in admiration by just your takes, the thought process, the willing to be transparent, and you speak eloquently by still adding in the shit that we need to hear.
Right.
If you ever listen to the song One Mic by Nas, right? It's cool when it's edited, but when it's explicit, you can get the full feel of it. You know what I mean?
Of course. And you know what? That's what our people receive more, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with the delivery. Our people, when you hit them across the head with it, change is spark.
Indeed.
So I appreciate you for taking a second to give me my flowers.
Yeah, no, 100%. You deserve them, man. Too many people get their flowers after they get up out of here, and I just don't see it that way. You know what I mean? So I've been bumping the album. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shit like that.
It's something about the rhythm, man. Can you tell me what inspired this song? We gotta let it play for a little bit, love.
It wasn't just a flex, I was all in. Niggas stringing me along like a violin. Pretty bitch, this a mess, guess I'm just a tree. Cause boy, you treat me bad once I locked in. I got rid of niggas, it was fuck them. Just to be with you, saw my light, yeah. Told me you was different, nothing like them. in. Same old lie, same shit again. Forgave and forgave till I caved in. Stayed in your place till the very end. Fighting with a nigga you love like crossing the flood. Shit like a drug, it's fucking me up. High as a mug, I'm feeling in love. You lying and stuff, I'm pushing, I shove. Telling me so, no giving a fuck. Gotta admit.
Hey,
So
that's my joint right there.
that shit
That
is
song
fire.
just it's so real. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I be storytelling and giving lessons and being accountable while
Mhm.
still popping my swag and, you know, still being an artist.
Yeah, facts. And that right there, the music, I feel, I'm just saying I feel because I haven't vetted it out, is like people don't know you as much for the music from what I'm like gathering.
Yeah.
But for me, that's what like really pulled me in when I was vetting, like, okay, who should I try to get on? Like the
Right.
music is fire, and I'm listening to the messaging, and then when I correlate it with what you say, I'm like, she has to have experience that inspires these songs. Because my assumption is you write all your shit. So
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I write all my shit. You know, a lot of it is personal experience. And when I say personal experience, not just me, like what I do for a living outside of the music, connecting with so many men and women in our community,
yeah,
they stories become my stories because I'm walking and talking and counseling them and, you know, giving them therapy through what they're going through. And I feel like that particular song, so many women can relate. Like, you know, it come on. It wasn't just a flex. I was all in. The nigga was stringing me along like a violin. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's a lot of us, we meet dudes and off top, we going all in. I ain't
yeah,
just flexing. Like, I got rid of all the other niggas. I'm all in with you and I'm being strung along and I'm still not entertaining other niggas based on like being committed to this, hoping that you gon', you know, really focus on us as a couple.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that shit don't work like that. Sometimes
Nah.
you just simple bitch.
So how does yo? So look, hold on, I gotta hit the Kill Bill for that. So how does it actually work, bro? Right? You often, when women come out of relationships, men always ain't shit. But do women know they being strung along?
They do, but we will go along with the delusion in hopes of like it turning a new leaf and it becoming what we want it to be. A lot of us, we in our emotions, in our head, we be knowing because whenever I counsel women and I have them go back to the beginning, you know, when they first tell it, it's like, oh, he tricked me or love bombed me. But when I go back and I point out certain stuff as they tell their story, I'm listening to your story. The nigga ain't on this call. Bro, you skipped that. You skipped that, ma'am. You skipped over that. You told yourself that would become this. There was no agreement of this.
Yeah.
And half the time, dudes be showing you up front, even if they not verbally saying it, exactly what they own.
Damn. And you know that thing. Do women have that intuition thing, or is that just a fake ass stereotype? Do y'all have that shit?
No, there really is a woman's intuition that men don't have. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's not working properly. It's not real womanly intuition when you're like in your crazy. So when you are just in your flesh, out in the world, allowing yourself to be, you know, in these situations that gets you outside of knowing you, that intuition just be crazy. It be, you know, you just going along with shit, trying to make your inner right, when in all reality, you're not grounded as a woman. Like your femininity is a part of womanly intuition. So when you meet women that aren't in their feminine era, it ain't no intuition. You just out here attracting what matches what you told yourself was gonna go on. So for example, if I have a victim mindset or a niggas ain't shit mindset, all y'all niggas ain't shit, I'm gonna attract niggas that make me right. It's about vibration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if as human beings, male or female, we're gonna gravitate towards what makes us right. If my beliefs and shit that was programmed into me has me believing niggas ain't shit, they cheat, they lie, you're gonna attract that every time. You manifest by changing your beliefs.
Damn. That makes so when we correlate it back to her knowing that man ain't shit, is that what's happening? They're getting into relationships not fully grounded within themselves. You think that's why?
When you're okay, so if I got this victim mentality that, you know, women is victims, these niggas ain't shit, they always doing stuff to us. The human, just in general, as a human being, we are attracted and automatically wired to what's gonna make us right. So I'm going to get into situations where even though I say verbally, I don't want no ain't shit nigga, I'm going to attract that because that'll give me the moments of, see, I told y'all these niggas ain't shit. Look how he cheated like I said he would. Look how you have to manifest and change the vibration that you on. So when women be thinking, oh, my intuition told me he was cheating. No, ma'am. You believe men are that. You attracted that. And that's why you turned out to be right. Ain't no intuition.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
That's crazy. But that shit makes a lot of sense. You know? And so Love Dorsey, here's one thing that I make everybody believe, everybody who's on the channel. Football makes sense to every facet in life. I don't give a shit. Right? I found in a game, if I was trying too hard, I was fucking up.
Right.
I could see it, but I was getting there too early, too late, you know, because I was doing too much.
Right.
Is my analogy, does that make sense? Because I understand things in football terms.
Yeah, so, but I'm gonna put it to you like this, right?
Yeah.
If before you leave the locker room, you don't have a certain set of grounded things and confidence within yourself, you will go out and believe you playing hard while fucking up.
Damn.
This is when you see people in life, they running in place and they believe they advancing because they're tired, but you ain't went nowhere. Like you doing busy shit
like that.
all
Shit
day,
like
you
that.
out on the
Shit like
field
that.
running around, but you ain't did nothing to contribute to us scoring or defending from the other team scoring.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. God damn, man. You read my mind. Yo, man, you showing off.
Perfect.
This is what I do, bro. This is what I do.
Shit like that. Shit
Like,
that.
share,
Shit
subscribe,
like
tell a
that.
friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let's stay on that path a little bit. We have a question. We go back and forth and back, right? In terms of women and their standards.
Okay.
The argument is they have standards until the right nigga come along. So if she got all these standards in the world, but if he looked like more Chestnut, all them standards go out the window. What you think? Is more still the man? I don't know. I just
let me say this, right?
And
this is all women, right?
Okay.
Women look at men from a space of, you know, how can you be useful to me? And you being useful is not about what you actually useful for as a man. It's about what space I'm in as a woman. So depending on what season of my life I'm in, what, you know, part of myself I'm in tune with in this season, it's going to determine what type of niggas I fall for, you know, that I go for, that I believe shit from. So it's like, as a female, right? If I'm in a space or a season of my life where I need a man that's useful for money, this is what I'm going to look for. And as a man with some money, you may be useful in a lot of other ways and valuable in a lot of other ways, but I'm only attracted to what I view you as useful for. It never matters what you actually useful for. If you meet a woman and she's in a season of her life, I need help with these kids. It ain't just all about money. I'm looking for a stepdaddy for my child. You may not want to be a stepdaddy or have all the character traits for that. But if I deem you useful for that, I'm going to try to get you to fill that spot for that. So men need to understand when dealing with women, a lot of times when y'all think we just crazy or we're not listening, you got to understand we coming into this with our needs in front and looking at you for what you can be useful for based on the season we in, not what you got going on.
God damn.
And it's not I want to clarify, this is not a bad thing. This is for both genders to understand. Like it's not, there's not anything wrong with the woman who knows this about herself. Like this is when she can be intentional about what she's looking for, and she can leave you the fuck alone when you don't want to be useful in the ways that she wants to use you.
Wow.
It's not a bad use, because grown men know I am to be used. I want to come into this relationship and build with a woman where I am needed and I am useful. No grown man wants to be in some shit where I ain't useful. I'm just with this female. Hell no.
Yeah, that makes sense. But how do you is what she sees you as useful? Is it fluid or is that sustainable, or it depends on her season? Because how do you sustain that in a long term if her usage change based on the season for a man?
It depends on what type of man you are. See, you know, a lot of men are versatile, meaning, you know, I may not be rich, but I know how to consistently bring in an income. I know how to stay grounded with certain things in regards to doing my part with household. Like, and then some men grow as their woman's needs change, what she needs them to be useful for. And then some niggas are in situations where what the female wants him to be useful for, he ain't on that. He might even be good at it, but that's not what he on. Like, you know how you meet some dudes and they on a paper route, right?
Yeah.
I am good at this father stuff. I am good at, being a home guy, meaning at home, spending time with you, but that ain't what I'm on right now. So if the woman pushing for that and that's not what the man wants for his life right now, they gonna clash. That's when you get that toxic shit.
Damn. So all right. So you said some. So generally speaking, I agree. Some always applies. Do you think it's the minority or majority of men who are versatile in that way?
So when we get it, let me split the category, right?
All right.
When we get into the men that come from certain type of upbringings, you see less versatility. But when you get into the percentage of men that come from a solid upbringing, they were raised with male influence, you'll see the versatility because men raise boys into men that are not caught up in the ways of a woman.
Okay.
Meaning,
Now.
Men that it doesn't even have to necessarily be their biological father, but men that had influence in their upbringing where men helped raise me. Like, I was influenced by men, not just my mama. They get out in life and I'm not trying to be a victim or have my feelings worried about all the time. I change when necessary to be able to provide as a man, not only for myself, but for the responsibilities that I created, or I change in rooms to be able to get what I need, because that's what life is about. Men teach other men that, especially black men that are raised with other black men influencing them.
Okay.
Shit like that.
Now,
shit like that.
love,
shit
see,
like
there's
that,
I love
like
Dorsey.
that.
I have a conflict.
Okay.
Right? As you're talking, you're right. I like it. However, it feels, and I'm saying feels, like that man is being dictated to. Do you believe that men are the leaders? And if so, if his wife needs change and therefore he has to pivot, that feels like it's a bit out of order. Maybe you can clarify.
No. So what I'm saying is, right, when a man chooses a woman, you need to pay attention to what the woman is interested in you for. Meaning, what does she feel like you're useful for? If you're picking a woman where she is looking to use you in ways that doesn't match what you want as a man, you need to get up out of there. So it's never about like conforming to what a woman or what your wife is saying. My whole point is, when you choose a woman, that what she needs you to be useful for are areas that you want to be useful in, the shit's gonna line up. My wife's not gonna be asking me to be useful in ways that don't match the overall plan for the family as I lead head of household.
There we go. Yeah.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Yeah,
But see,
yeah,
when you dealing with women that, as a man, you ain't paying attention to this. As the woman, she don't understand this, and she just pushing for what she want without being able to articulate to you, hey, this is what I'm on. It creates a toxic space where you ain't gonna have no healthy relationship anyway.
Yeah. Okay. That's
shit like that. Shit like that.
That clarifies it. Man, she's smarter than me. Okay. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Do you believe that men are the leaders?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, without a doubt. It's nobody with a pinch of sense is gonna disagree that men are leaders. They naturally lead better. If you look at the world and where we come from, it's not just because of how government and organized groups of people and colonialization and certain shit have formed it this way naturally. If we just talk about science, a man's build is different from a woman because they are designed by nature to do something different than us. It's a reason why, without taking all this fucked up American food and putting it into the diet, a boy child is gonna grow different in his shoulder span, his chest, the feel of his body, the build of his body than a woman. So when we look at what is necessary for leadership with families, with the world, with the way things are set up, men are better equipped for that. And when you look at life, the roads we drive on, the bridges we cross, the infrastructure, all the foundational things that keep us functioning, men.
Yeah.
The hard job.
Shit like that. Shit like
and I'm
that.
not even saying this in a negative way towards women. As women, like, if you real with yourself, where our power lies, we don't want to do all that shit that y'all do. The things that is necessary for y'all to lead on. No real woman in tune with her femininity is on that type of shit.
Indeed. Now the feminine. Well, so you said that, and I want to kind of keep walking down the line, but the femininity thing is uberly important.
Mm-hmm.
We say we want a feminine woman, right? And then when we're asked, what does that look like? Men often stutter through the answer.
Yep.
And we say, hey, we know it when we feel it or see it.
Yep.
How does a feminine woman present? Can you articulate it better than we have?
Yes. So a woman that's in her femininity, first things first, she's not trying to be equal to a man. She understands her power and her uniqueness and what makes her special, and to be respected and honored lies in being different from a man. So men are correct that yes, you can feel it, because you will realize this is an opposite of me if you're a masculine man, and not opposite like bad, but opposite like she adds something to this room, to this household, to this conversation that I can't, because I am not that what she is, and she understands that this is that dynamic, that masculine versus feminine. The other part of it is there is a nurturing of self that women that are in their femininity stay true to no matter what. So regardless of what they're going through, regardless of what life has put on their plate based on their past choices, there is I nurture myself in a way that men don't even need to understand. And you see it on us, you see it in us, you see it as we walk, the way that we carry ourselves. It's something that, you know, you can clearly look, even if you were a teenager, you can see that, okay, that person takes care of themselves. It's a care that y'all don't need. Like, there are things about us as women you don't have to worry about, from the menstrual cycles to the way that we have to, you know, clothe ourselves in regards to having breasts and hips and, you know, the physical side, right, of the femininity. The other part of it is there is a feminine that you can see in the way that we talk when dealing with men, especially the men that we are in intimate relationships with or are attracted to. We're not concerned about having the last word. We are concerned about being heard, but it does not have to be the last word. Things don't have to go our way every time. We do not have to have the man conform to what specifically we want in the moment of conflict or things like that. Like, you will know it when you see it, because there is I don't need to be superior to be superior.
Damn.
Perfect.
And when I say this, there's an understanding with women that understand the power and femininity. They know that without arguing with my nigga, there is this, if I exit or remove my presence, he knows there will be a deep loss in this. So there's no need for me to rah-rah at him. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Perfect.
Damn. Okay. That makes that I understand it. Get the likes up. On top of that, right? As we dive just a tad bit deeper, let's say, because people have to work nowadays. Oftentimes, you know, the average income for our people is around 50,000 for men, 47 for women, something 45. It's a pretty close gap, right? Two people have to work. Is she able to go out, let's say a corporate job where she has a level of influence, or she's in charge or manager? Can a woman turn that on and off, or does that environment start to seep into her household?
So I'm glad you brought this up. As women have advanced with their rights, right? As we become bosses and working women like I am, if you're not talking about this, you're going to blur the lines. But I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If you catch me any given day on my page, on a live, doing what I do for a living, right? Working the internet, coming on these platforms, talking a certain way intentionally to make the content circulate, you're going to see me one way. But if you catch me out with my man or in my household with my, you know, my significant other, my fiance, like, you're not going to see that same behavior. And it's something that you have to intentionally understand is necessary, right? And when I say intentionally, meaning you could know this, but if you don't go same way I have to and tell yourself, listen, this turns off at the door. I'm needed as a boss out in the world. I'm needed as a certain assertive energy on my platform online. I'm not needed as this at home. I'm needed as his feminine figure. For him to be every bit of what he needs to be, and for us to come together and be what we need to be for our family, I need to be a woman.
Yeah.
I don't need
Yeah.
to be a boss. I don't need to be Love Dorsey, quote unquote. I don't need to be assertive and loud with my communication and vocal with the curse words and the coming back. I don't need to do that at home.
Yeah.
That's not necessary. At home with my man, my power lies in me being a woman and him seeing every bit of what a woman is, which is all about femininity. Nothing
Indeed.
about the boss shit out that's necessary to run a successful business or be some sort of figure online.
Damn, man.
Shit
So
like that. Shit like
you
that. Shit like
now
that.
is that
shit like
more?
that,
Is
shit
that
like that.
you in control of that and understanding
This
that?
is a me thing. This don't got shit
Yeah.
to do with him.
Okay.
You
That's
won't
exactly.
even, and this is me included. I won't even attract a good man, a decent man, a moral man, a ethical man if I don't have this under control. It's not his job to remind me daily that, hey, you need to cut off that stuff from your job and that to me. No, that's not his job. I'm a woman. He don't need to tell me how to be feminine. This comes natural. If I loose all this shit that the world has tried to program into me, feminine is natural to women. You just have to be willing to challenge your upbringing. You got to be willing to challenge what you have seen out in a world where everybody's trying to make masculine and feminine the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. See, that's it right there, man. Because oftentimes it's said that, you know, the women will follow a real man. You know, there's like a trigger. Well, if you was a real man, this wouldn't happen. You know, if you're around a real man, he brings the femininity out of you. But what you just said, that's all intrinsic.
Yep. But now let me say this, right?
Okay.
This goes for even when you see scientists, social scientists, and just even, scientists in other areas do studies on behavior and even behavior in animals, not just humans. Environment 100% plays a role in the beliefs, the behavior, the ways, the character traits of an individual. So if you take a woman that's in her femininity and you place her in an environment and she remains there long enough, it will change the way that she operates, thinks, believes. And this goes for men and women, but just putting it in the context of what we're talking about. I can have all of this understood and be in my femininity, but if you put me in a home environment with a man that is creating a space of high stress, toxicity, things where I'm fight or flight all the time. My hormones are secreting the adrenaline that puts me in a high, strong, stressful space. Often, it will change naturally how I am as a woman. I still am in control of whether I stay in that environment or not, but it doesn't change the scientific fact that that environment will fuck me up over time.
Indeed. I like that because that is actually a perfect segue, kind of back to the men line where we're walking down, we're taking that walk. The video I was watching, you were mentioning the men. I'm gonna sum it up. You didn't say it like this. This is me saying it. They get at me all the time for saying this. Niggas is pussy, right? Because of the environment in which they grow up in or they're subject to.
Yeah.
And because they're taking on the traits of their mom, etc. And I guess I would also that would happen to the ladies also. So now, does that put them, if they're in that environment, the women in more of a masculine state, and then the men in more of a feminine state? Is that what's happening? Because a lot of us do grow up in single parent homes.
Yes. So this is a fact, and you'll always see people disputing because they're triggered and they don't want themselves or their single mama to be labeled as something bad. But the fact is, especially with Black people, it is statistically proven. This is why I keep repeating the word fact before I say this, right? Doesn't matter if you're a part of the small percentage that this doesn't apply to.
Sure.
Single mother-headed households produce the worst product, right? And single mother-headed households that raise men, they baby boys, right? And these men grow up, and unless they get out in the world and either through college experiences or street experiences or just life experiences, working jobs, if they don't get around men and pick up traits and ways and learnings and lessons and straightenings from men, they grow up as a fully grown man and build but they operate like a woman because all they've ever saw is a female do things, a female problem solve, a female run a household. And if you understand behavioral science, you'll know that there is no disputing this. I just said it with environment when I spoke about, just what we were talking about with femininity with women. Environment shapes and molds the beliefs, the things in the subconscious mind, the paradigms that actually control your behavior. So when you understand this, if you've only seen a woman organize and do things as a man, a lot of your ways will be womanly unless life gets you around some men. And so when we talk about, okay, fast forward, the niggas that are pussies, so to speak, or they have a lot of womanly ways or overly emotional, these behaviors are learned. They didn't just get like this.
God damn. So can they unlearn them?
Yes. If you understand what I'm saying, environment. So
100%.
for example,
but what age though, love? Like what age? So let's say, damn. So let's say he doesn't get into sports until high school, right? There's a trend now where a lot of moms and dads, frankly, don't let their kids play like contact football until high school now, which I think is my son jumping off the porch. He only won, but it's lit. When like what if he gets to high school and now he's finally, around men and things of that nature? Is it too late then? Like how can you head it off?
Okay, so let me say this, right? Let me put something in context.
Okay.
If you have a boy child, you want to get him started as early as possible, building a bond with males, right? Because men teach men how to be men. Women don't teach men how to be men, just off top, right? And so then when you move forward and you understand the stages and developments of a child's brain and things like that, boy children need to be taught how to work their mind, right? And so they have to work it in a different way than females because their inner is different. So now when we talk about getting boy children around men, things like sports, mentorship programs, if the father is absent, older men in the family that have a grounded space in regards to emotions, meaning if I'm a woman raising my boys by myself, I need to get them as much access to men as possible so they can pick up behavioral patterns of men, not those of a woman, right? And so when we get into sports activities and things like that, I get that some people are worried about their kids being involved in contact sports, but they need to be involved in things where as a man, you understand how to use and control your physical while also controlling your emotional, while also working your mind. So it's not just football or basketball, but karate and baseball and just anything so that the boy can work off that energy, but also be able to work those three areas I just named and be in control of it, meaning learn how to maneuver through this as a man, as a young boy, as a male, not mimic what I see my mother and aunties and grandmas do. But if you keep boys around women all the time, you'll see a very different starter behavior is what I call it. And football and basketball coaches, karate instructors and things like that, they can easily tell with the group of boys that they're working with who has dads and fathers and 100%. Men in their upbringing and who don't. I talk to educators about this all the time. Even teachers, they can tell which boys have men at home and which don't. And I know a lot of women that are single mothers, they hate to hear this, but your son placed next to a son that's being raised with male influence, he stands out, ma'am. They can tell the difference, whether you like it or not. So for me, the answer is get started as early as possible. Now, when we talk about attachment styles, and I ain't gonna go too deep, mothers start off with that nurturing, like we are gonna be that caregiver, right? But when the boy gets old enough to really start understanding, as that toddler age, like I heard you mention a 1-year-old, once they realize, I have this mother figure that's always going to be there. Like she's going to pamper and take care of me. They get more and more confident about going out in the world and exploring things. Like you say, jumping out the porch, participating in rough and tough stuff, getting involved in things that may be uncomfortable because they know they have that nurturing feminine mother to go back to. And then there's that dynamic of a father like you that I'm going to push you to get up. Hey, brush yourself off. Stop all that crying. Shake that shit off. We men, we boys, this is what we do. That dynamic is so necessary, especially for our boys.
Yeah, no, hey, 100%. And I'm so glad that you highlighted coach's discernment. Because I coach high school, high level football for a number of years. And instantly I'm like, you got a dad? Like instantly, a wrist be, it just,
Yep, you can tell.
yeah.
You can
Man.
tell. It's absurd how many people, especially in our community, I'd be so disappointed seeing how many men and women disagree with this understanding that boys are to be raised by men. This whole baby mama culture we in, where we just want to, I'm going to have my baby and I don't need my baby daddy and like, this is so fucked up, and it's killing our culture. Like, it's killing the way that our young boys are turning out. This is why it's so many grown men that over the smallest thing, they'll just kill one another.
Yeah.
Lack of emotional management, lack of understanding that as a black man, anger looks different on you.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a black woman, I can get away with more aggressive shit than you can. Me and you can go out in public, say the exact same words, do the exact same physical actions, and your ass will get killed or locked up quicker than me.
Yeah, 100%.
That alone should tell you that there's a different type of discernment that needs to be programmed into our boys than our girls.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. Damn. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I know there was a story in the Bronx like 2 years ago where a boy shot another boy over cold fries. Yeah. Like he took his food the wrong way. I made a mistake. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that is all emotion, Yeah. When you now, as we transition to the ladies, right, in that same construct, that same environment, how do we get them to pivot to come back to their femininity, seeing men as that, they come into being a helpmeet, so on and so forth, right? Because that seems to be lost, tremendously.
It is, and it's because of a lot of what I'm saying about culture. And let me give the women some grace in this moment, right? As a mother, right? Even if you're a single mother, you are supposed to be an emotional being. You are supposed to be in your femininity. You're not supposed to be walking around tough and rough and guarded and this and that. But when you take on certain responsibilities based on your poor choices or irresponsible sex or whatever, you did in your life to land you where you are, because it's on you, right? When you do these things, like when you look at what we were just talking about raising boy kids, if as a woman I'm raising boys, a lot of times you trying to like not be in your feelings in front of your boys because you're trying to raise them in a way that a man should be there doing. And it's unfair because as a woman, you're not supposed to be doing that. Okay. You're supposed to be in your feminine, worrying about nurturing yourself and staying soft and, spoken when necessary. And when I'm saying this is going back to what I said earlier, meaning I shouldn't have to take the front leading role on a lot of things that I'm having to take the front leading role on, which is getting me further and further away from my femininity. But it's almost like I got no choice because I'm the only parent or the only adult in this situation with these children, right? Yeah. So when we talk about the young girls that's missing their fathers and the non-femininity, they're watching their mothers be the man and the woman. Mm-hmm. And so when I say man and woman, on the woman's side, the mom is being too emotional at times, past femininity, just in crazy and delusion because of the high stress that comes. It sets in after you've had to take on masculine for a while. Yeah. So as you playing mom and dad and you raising a girl, you bouncing back and forth between these roles that by the time you get into what was supposed to be the soft or the feminine side, you so stressed out and full of anxiety that it comes off as delusion and crazy more than just being a woman. Yeah. 100%. And so when your daughters watch this, they grow up and they mimic through behavioral science, proves this, the same sort of behavior. And then you look up and you got girls that, from what I see my mama do, I can do it by myself. So now they picking dudes that it don't matter if he could actually stand in certain roles of leadership because I can do it by myself.
So they think, right?
Yes, this is the I'm going over their thinking mentality. Meaning now I'm just looking for a man. Fuck what type of man. It don't matter if he shows integrity or ethics in these areas or consistency. If he got a dick and we can, mate and I can get that intimate attention, it don't even matter what else he can do because I can do everything else by myself. My mama showed me that.
So how do we help them? Because I see it with the boy, right? If he's being raised by a mom, you get consistent male influence, right? To help curtail some of the, that behavior and things of that nature. But that woman, the little girl, is with a woman. So how do we help her? Because seemingly the sentiment is that this is the sentiment, is that
Yeah.
the majority of women are out of order.
Yeah, we are.
So over, more so than the men per se.
We are.
And so how do we actually correct that with that being the case?
So, culture is influenced. I'm going to go over the reasons why we out of order.
Sure.
Culture is influencing it. Poor upbringing with coming from all these woman-headed households where we do not have the experience of a man loving us properly or loving our mother properly. So no examples. This is the generational curses, the fucked up upbringing that we don't want to admit is fucked up. Then there is also the poor choices that we make coming from this type of upbringing to where we get ourselves in situations with so many children, or even if it's just one child, where we're left to be the mother and the father by choosing the wrong type of men, right? And then we end up being unable to tend to ourselves in a feminine space. So when you say, how do we help them? It's the same as the boys. Girls need fathers. They need men that are part of their upbringing, not to show them how to behave, but to teach them how to be treated by men. Girls need men that they are.
Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
As women, we deserve and we need men that are able to be around us and be in our presence and be a safe space, not just women. We need men around that when there is a man in the room, they show us what men do when in the presence of women. Meaning, as a woman, if I'm single and I don't have a man, I understand I got to take the trash out. And if somebody come up in here, I got to fight for myself. Yeah. But there should have been some times in my upbringing where I was able to see that when men are around, you don't have to worry about doing this. Yeah. They open doors. They pull out chairs. They take out the trash. The front running things that go with their build and their physical makeup and what they are just as a masculine figure, they are to do that when I'm in the presence of a man. And so we're out of order because we're so far from knowing that when men are around, you demand through standing your feminine space that a man be a man.
Indeed. Yo, that. And so, love, I've said this before. This may go along with your sentiment. It might be slightly hyperbolic, but I think it illustrates the point. I've said that a woman does not know how to love herself if a man doesn't love her first.
Yes, and that's that dynamic. I agree with that. In the context of when you go back to attachment styles and how they're formed. Yeah, it comes from that upbringing. This is why I'm so big. My content is so full of children, especially our children need both parents. They need a mother 100%. Just as much as they need a father. Boy kids need dads just like girl kids need dads. Females deserve to experience those moments of being protected by their father or their uncles, brothers, older men in our community. Just, hey, stepping up and just because I am a woman, he deems me valuable enough to protect just because I am a woman. We are the givers of life in regards to the decision makers on if a child or a person is born, right? And so with that being said, that alone deserves for us to be protected. But when we're out saying, I'm independent, I don't need you niggas to protect me, I don't need this, y'all ain't valuable, get the fuck from around me, you left to then do these things for yourself, and it doesn't go with nature. This is why we end up depressed while saying that we not. We pretty, body done, waist little, ass, self-esteem small.
Yeah.
And you see it with the children.
Yeah. No, real shit. And those dynamics are so important. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, my father, he tough guy. He was in the Marines, construction worker, right? And it's something about falling. When your dad come and pick you up, it's like it's one scoop, you right on your feet. You know what I mean? Your mom, she's damn near falling down to help you get up. When your father gets you up, you're like, oh, I am okay because I'm standing again. And then when you go inside, your mom like, you okay? And all that forms you to be like pretty solid overall. You know what I mean? Damn.
I 100% agree. And I'm gonna tell you something, right? We this needs to be discussed more. Our community needs to really start putting at the forefront valuing family again. And I ain't even saying that if the relationship doesn't work out, you gotta stay together just because of the children. But you have to understand it is so much value for my children and my community and myself for my kids to have both parents involved in their upbringing, influencing them.
Indeed. 100%.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Perfect.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. how, let me just ask you, and this is kind of off the line of question. I definitely have a few more, but how are you perceived when you walk into spaces? Like, how do they frame you? And I'm saying they, right? Because everybody has an opinion, right? How do they frame you? Do they say you feminine? Do they say you, like, what do they say based
It
on?
depends. It is a funny question because it depends what environment you see me in. Like there are people that, for example, they've seen me out with, my fiance. I operate way different. There are people that have seen me at events in teacher mode. It's kind of a different experience. There are people that they've only seen me on lives. There's layers, right? And there's different dynamics because it's necessary, especially like if you're going to be anything other than a housewife in this day and age, as a working woman, you have to have these levels to you where I am different in different spaces for a reason. And then there is the concept of in the presence of men, you're going to see a certain thing come out of those of us that understand this no matter what. So for example, you may be a stranger to me out in public. If we walk up to the door of a business establishment at the same time, I'm gonna stand there.
Yeah.
And it might even be an awkward moment if you're not one of those men that know to open the fucking door.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to immediately move to your side to give you the space to be able to grab the door handle, and I'm gonna proceed to go in front of you. These things come along with knowing your place as a woman.
Yeah. Damn.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
And notice when I'm saying knowing your place, I'm not saying like knowing your place like bow down to a man because you ain't got no power. I'm saying knowing your place meaning I am to be kept and cared for.
Yeah. I
don't gotta know him, but he's a man. So he can get the door. There are certain things he can take the front running on just from being a man.
Damn, man. That is very important, right? There's a level of disdain, right, from the lack of women kind of saying, like, as an example, walking through the door, there's men that have communicated that women don't even say thank you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, which threatens the level of chivalry out in the earth. What you think? Do you think that chivalry is dying because of the men or the women?
It's both. It's both. It's our culture where women keep screaming independent and we don't need a man. And then men from a space of like, again, a lot of them being raised without men around to let them know, regardless of whether you get a thank you or not, this is what men do. There's a duty. There's a responsibility to you being a man all the time. It's both, right? And so for me, again, like I just said, when you look at men, whether you get a thank you or not, or appreciation for it or not, this is a part of you being a man. And as a woman, we shouldn't be screaming out that we don't need niggas, we don't need men, we don't need males and yes, we do. So we're doing it to one another.
Damn. Okay. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. And so just because I understand, right, the environment makes a difference, right? Yeah. But if people, you know what, let me say it like this. If people judge you, what are the judgments that you get?
Well, let me say this, right? I don't take it as judgment, but it is judgment if you want to look at it in the context of the definition.
Sure.
But the reason why I'm saying I don't take it as judgment because I understand that people can only go off of what they've seen and what they've experienced.
Yeah.
So the people that have only experienced me online on a live, they have their particular view of, this is how she is. People that have experienced me with family and in my personal life, they have a different view. People that have seen me in different environments, they have their view that this person is like, she's on another level because of the layers and the different spaces that she's able to conform and change for and change to. A lot of people, if I'm real, they're scared of me when we talk about just online, right? They're scared because of the versatility of my conversation and that you cannot trigger me on these topics. Meaning like a lot of the podcasts and stuff that you look at, you could eventually say something that makes the person get in their emotions and they start to speak and give out information from a selfish space. My platform has grown well past me as just an individual woman where I am always on the agenda. Always. I'm never not. So it's scary to people that I can't get her to pivot off of this. I have women that are upset that they can't tell me their sob story and get me to change from the fact that single mother households produce the worst product. There are men that they, get upset because they can't get me to change what I'm saying based on them saying, look, I came from a single mother household and I didn't turn out like X, Y, and Z, or as a man, I had a lot of women raising me and I ain't no bitch. Like, they can't get me to, you know what I mean? So it's scary and upsetting at times for a lot of people that it's like, let up on them goddamn topics, on that information.
Yeah. There's I'm starting to understand that more and more, that when you have a level of influence, there's much more responsibility in what you say, how you say it, right? And if you get triggered, right, people often focus on what you being triggered as opposed to what did it, and then they forget about what you were saying.
Yeah.
And
And
often,
see, I know that very well, to the point where for me, once I understood the responsibility of my platform, it's then, love, what's your purpose? What's your purpose for all of this that you created? And for me, it's for our people and people that watch me to become a better person, and for us to become better as a culture, better with family, better in our foundational stuff where we come from with generational curses and things like that, for us to really evolve and change a lot of this shit. Yeah. This is always at the forefront of my brain when I speak. So even when people say stuff that doesn't sit well with me, that is never more important. My emotions or my personal feelings are never more important than my overall purpose.
Yeah. That's the part.
Perfect.
That's the part. Damn. So we are seemingly, right, just to be fair, in a bit of a gender war. Like, we steadily going back and forth and back. If this war doesn't end, who suffers more?
We all do. And when I'm saying we all do, if we're talking about genders, I'm speaking for the generations coming under us.
Sure. 100%.
So if we keep this up, more and more children grow up in broken homes with broken parts of them, with mental health issues and certain insecurities about their abilities. Boys grow up more and more less empowered in their abilities to make a life or the life for themselves that they want. Women grow up believing they have to be something they're not, just to be able to be accepted or to feel that they have power. Like, both genders suffer, and it's really the generations coming under us that suffer the most.
So generally speaking, the kids, right?
Yeah.
Man. And what are we seeing nowadays as this war continues? You have the movements where men ain't shit, right? Salute the Sally Jesse Raphael and Ricky Lake and all them, Montel, right? Now you move forward. You have drizzle concepts. There's a one of the brothers in this space, one of the young brothers that I greatly admire. His name is Cheeky, and he came up with House Husbands 2024, saying, hey, be a house husband, mitigate your risk for divorce, because you in the house taking care of the kids and you're not making the money. Now, alimony, you're not afraid of, you potentially get the kids, etc. So men are thinking like that now. If I'm going to get married, I'm going to make sure it's even, right? And then you couple that with the men ain't shit for the last 30 years, like
it's becoming predatorial on both ends.
Yeah.
To where there's no real solid sense of unity in regards to family. Everybody is trying to outthink their own partner that they chose, right? In this game of like, who's going to come out on top if this doesn't work? And when you ask about, the effects, when you look at our younger generation, they're driven more off of emotion. They will kill each other and fall out and beat each other up over the smallest shit. A lot of them are not valuing education, furthering their education. They want a fast dollar now. They want to become 18, get out and be rich now. A lot of them are afraid of hard work. Everything is, automated now. And if you don't understand, how to use this to your advantage, but also still be someone that is willing to put in the work when necessary to get certain things done, you start to develop an entitled space. And this is for, younger adults that are male or female. You have a lot, when we look at young girls, it's just all about aesthetics and nothing up here, to the point where we have to get back to valuing, things like higher education, spirituality, nurturing self, unity, establishing real friendships, building resources, a lot of stuff in life. As you even get wealthy. It's not about how much money or assets you have. It's about who you know. A lot of the times, there are people with money that can't get in certain rooms because they don't know how to maintain relationships with the right people.
Yeah, 100%. Opportunity really comes, and I even use myself as an example. I hate favors. I very rarely like negotiate prices. If there's a price that a person's asking for that I need a service, I'll inquire as to why maybe, and then I'll pay it or not pay it. Point blank. Right.
But I'm gonna tell you though, because I don't want anybody to listen to this and get it misconstrued.
Sure.
When we talk about building relationships, there's a lot of bartering going on. See, what you're referencing is like not questioning somebody's worth or the value of their product or their service. I will 100% agree. And then there is the exchange of, energies or relationships or favors along the lines of like, I am building a relationship to where, no, I did that on the house for this person with the intent that we are building some sort of relationship moving forward where this is a resource for me and I am a resource for them. There is value in that. And when you get into higher level circles and people that are on other vibrations, a lot of time, that's what it is. That's the currency to get in this room.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Can I just take you at your word? Ain't about can you pay a price? Can you say you're going to show up for this meeting at this time and you show up? Can you say that you will be a part of this and do this particular function and you do it? You see what I'm saying? There is the idea of, paying for a good or a service. And then there is, where's your integrity? What type of man or woman are you? Are you organized? Will you be late? Are you able to, uphold confidentiality? Because we don't discuss this enough in our community. There are some things they're not meant to be told or repeated. And then do you understand the ethical responsibility in certain things? Can you be a part of groups where there are NDAs and certain stuff like these are things that in our children's upbringing, a lot of times, if you're not furthering your education, you never get the game on this. And so there are rooms you're never going to be let in.
That's a fact. That's 100% authentic. I want to get and we wind it down a little bit. I want to make sure I forget the word, right? But just in terms of when you have those movements, right? I want to get your full thought on it, right? But I like to let because the message is so dope, it has to marinate, right? People have to take the gems from it.
Right.
This part, when you have those movements, drizzle, house husband, I just want to get your understanding. Men have gotten to the point where they're saying, I'm going to take a woman's role because this shit is trash.
Yeah.
Men are not recommending, the older men are not recommending marriage to young boys.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a problem. But I'm going to tell you.
How did we get here? Go ahead. Tell me then, how did men get to that state?
That's what I was just going to tell you.
Go ahead.
When you take households by the masses. Okay, so we go back to the late 1960s, early 1970s, just going back to some systemic stuff, right? Sure. And you look at what governmental welfare programs implanted in low-income households in regards to our beliefs and mindset about family and things like that, right? When you take by the masses groups of people and women are now raising boy children and, young boys, this is what is the beginning of making men comfortable with doing the role of a woman. You gotta, people aren't freely going towards stuff that they're unfamiliar with, right? So you have to soften and familiar this particular culture or this mass group of people with this kind of behavior first. So if you leave boy children by the masses with nothing but females raising them, okay, I'm seeing what it looks like to do womanly duties. I'm seeing what it feels like to be in an environment of just women. And it ain't so bad. It ain't so bad because my mama raised me, my grandma raised me, my auntie. So now when the culture starts saying, hey, men, this is how you fight back. Here's what you guys should do. Go be this in the household. It starts to look like, okay, well, they're familiar with it already. It's not going to be hard to herd these guys into this because let me say this, right? No grown man that understands where their power is trying to go play the role of a woman. Now, there is nothing wrong with couples that have a family dynamic set up where you have a stay-at-home dad, or our skill sets and the way we bring in the butter, the bread and butter to feed our family is better aligned like this. I'm not talking about those households. So don't
Yeah.
watch this and get offended like, oh, she's saying anybody or any man that plays more of a role of involvement with their children over the woman is bad. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just what you propose.
Yeah.
Men that are from a, this is going to be my defense or even my offense against ending up being taken advantage of by my wife when we separate. I'm going to purposely not work a lot and just sit at home with kids and develop a space of like, I don't want this to hurt me in the end. So I'm going to be the established home. I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
Right. When you have so many men coming from households where I'm comfortable with this, nothing but women running stuff. I'm comfortable with taking on a woman role.
Yeah, that because they've grown up in that dynamic. Damn. Okay, because you know that the prevalent argument is women ain't shit, and they tired of taking shit from women. The women aren't like the women of yesteryear. We're not getting submission and traditional values.
Yeah.
So why go out here and kill myself when the niggas that are killing themselves when their wives don't work is getting shit and pissed back?
Yeah.
So why would I do it?
Let me be real, right? That's the type of women that those niggas chose. Now, all day long, I will agree with you that there's a problem in our culture with women and us getting away from being feminine and you know, being comfortable and really fluid in the space of allowing men to lead and run a household. I agree with that. But when you done sat up and picked a trash ass woman based on you was worrying about the pussy or you know sex was at the forefront when you chose her, and before you knew it you got her pregnant and you felt like it was your duty to lock in, and you ended up with a woman that she don't listen to you, she don't value you as a man, she don't care about your leadership ability. That's on you. That's not to go and label all women, because there are plenty of women in this world, especially black women, that we want to be taken care of and we want a man to lead, and we're fine with being the nurturer and all of that. The other thing is conversations have to be had as changes occur in the dynamic of the relationship. Meaning, let's say me and you are together and we're dating, and then we move into a state of locking in, whether it's marriage or we agree we are, you know, in something monogamous.
Yes.
If when beginning you were the leading financial person in this relationship, meaning you make the most money, you're doing this, and then as we go on, dynamics change. I go to school, and you know, and now I got a degree and I'm getting ready to use mine, and we're both these things have to be discussed about how we want the roles to stay or change through agreements. People aren't doing this. So they're thinking that the day we got married or the day we made this official, we're the same two beings as we are 15, 25, 8 years later, and we're not. You have to talk about the changes that are occurring with you as a man and with her as a woman, and continue to make agreements moving forward for your relationship to grow and evolve with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. And you know what? That correlates. And this, maybe, you know, we winding down. This correlates with the woman that you mentioned an hour ago, where she's broken to an extent, right? And she's finding men that speak to that brokenness, not her being grounded. And so you take her and you get the man who's picking wrong, but the truth is they picking each other based on what? Like a subconscious connection.
Yes, because you attract what's on the same vibration as you. It never matters what you send out your mouth, off your conscious mind. Your beliefs and your paradigms, what's going on in your subconscious mind, right? A part of the brain that a lot of people don't even know how to go into intentionally. That's what controls your behavior, and it determines what you attract. And even for men, there are a lot of men, like we just said about the broken woman, they're operating in their flesh. They're only confident in using their penis. So they pick women based on what appeals to that head, not this head, or the goals and the direction that they have for their life. So then when you end up with a woman that the only way you could conquer her is when y'all in the bedroom and you taking her to Pound Town, every bit of what you experiencing with this woman, you chose that.
Yeah.
I do calls with men just like I do women, and I talk to so many men that tell their story, and when they explain how they got with this woman, my G, you didn't pick this woman based on looking at her values and what she felt like you was useful for and got to know her character. You picked her based on the physical attraction. And so when you pick a woman based on just that, it's like a coin toss. Nigga, you get what you get. Don't complain to us later on and pin that on all women.
Yeah. No, real shit. And we have these conversations, right? Men have a lot of parameters until she pretty enough.
Yeah.
You know, you see it, right? We don't want a baby mother until she pretty enough, i.e. Drea Michelle, right? That's just a prevalent example.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Man, oh man, that's real. And I just to be accountable, I vetted like that, right? Picking a woman who didn't have all the attributes, but she was pretty as hell. So I'm like, let me see if I could work this out.
Yep. Now going back to being raised by a mama,
Mm-hmm.
when boys reach like that teenage age of like almost 14 up to like 17, mama's voice to you changes, right? So when mama's saying, hey, don't be running around just picking them fast ass girls and it sounds a certain way, right? When another man talks to you from a man space, like, hey, bro, I done hit females like that, and I'm telling you, bro, you head it down and you fuck around and get that girl pregnant, doing one of the ones she gonna have you doing this and keeping your babies away from you and using them as pawns, and like it hits different. And this is why boys need men, because y'all can give them the real experience, the consequences of just choosing a woman off of nothing but looks.
Yeah. Nah, real shit.
I got some men that, man, they broken with the way these women doing them about their babies. They broken with the way that they can't even come up with enough money to be able to fight to get their rights as fathers. Like, I have an event coming up July 6th in Atlanta where I'm gonna be sitting down with a family court attorney as a part of that filming, and really getting into, like, you know, some of the resources that men need to really utilize in order to get back involved with their children. But a lot of them, it is their fault. They picked women based on nothing other than having sex. And because she gave them access to the sex often, they did everything else with her that, if you looked at her character and the way that she thinks and even her upbringing, you shouldn't have been doing any of that other stuff.
Damn. Man, it's real. Do you coach men or just women?
Men and women. Men and I'm so for my culture and my community. I'm giving everybody game in every way I possibly can, through me being, you know, anointed, through me educating myself, through my experiences as I'm talking to these people through this stuff. Like, I want to see us do better. It ain't no male versus female. It's going to require for us to unify, especially with Black people, in order to see change in our community.
Okay. Word. And those men, you think they should be, if there was a choice, do you think they'll get more from being coached by a man directly, just based on the premise?
Definitely. So what happens is, when you come to my platform as a man, I'm going to give you that groundwork on emotional management, educating yourself, multiple streams of income, credit and credit funding, understanding your attachment style, just all the dynamics of behavioral science, and then financial literacy. And then I'm going to start pushing you towards my resources that are men in different industries that you can start building relationships with. I'm also going to encourage you to go clean up your environment, right? And get around higher level men that you're in rooms where you the scrub to these men. It's going to grow you up. And for a lot of men, like, they don't even got men to tell them this. They in rooms where they the big dog because they around a bunch of other niggas that's just as lost as them. I'm that female that's going to tell you, hey, a man teaches men how to be men. You need to have that circle dynamic. Men older than you, men in your peer category, and men younger than you that you have healthy relationships with. And you do not need to be the smartest, richest nigga in the room that you sit in the most. You need to be places where you're uncomfortable often as a man, and it reminds you, go harder, go harder, go harder. This is what wakes up that second heartbeat in you, where you got your flesh and my heart pumping in the flesh, but then there's that other manifesting side where I wake up and there's something behind me telling me we need more. That ain't enough. Go harder. Your babies need this. You're trying to build this. You're able. Empower you. Like, this is what I push for men to go do, because we need them at the forefront.
Indeed. And I want to hear that same advice for the women, if you don't mind. And then please tell us, I tagged your book from 2019 in the description. I've been playing the album. I got your Instagram. It's tagged to the top of the chat. The moderators, my brother Matt, as an example, been posting it. So can you just leave us with that last bit of advice for the women, because this is tough and men are getting passports,
Yep.
MGTOW, going their own way, right?
Yep.
Because it's just not aligning. So if you had to advise our women directly, what would it be? And then please tell us where else we could find you, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, and you know, not that I don't give men the same advice, but value therapy, getting your femininity, learn to manage your emotions so you can get back into an intuitive space. Embrace femininity. Stop trying to be equal to men and just accept that your power lies in something completely different. Organize your life so that you're not high stressed as a woman often, to where you can have that personal time to really care for yourself. Understand, if you have children, I want male influence. I'm not trying to be the man and the woman raising these children. My job is just to be a woman. It's unfair, right, to me to be trying to play both roles. So I need to first agree with myself that I don't need to be doing both roles. The other thing is, I encourage women, take care of your aesthetics, but also take care of your mind. Meditate, get in your spirituality. Be willing to grow your intellect by reading, not trying to be in rooms with women that are focused on stuff that does not matter. Get in rooms where you are not the smartest in the room. Get in rooms where you are not the most feminine. Get in rooms where you're around women that when you look up, it's like, you know what? I can learn some things from her. Create those sisterhood circles where y'all hold each other accountable, not just repeat the same shit in an effort to not be triggered or to appeal to your emotion. Like, we got work to do on both ends, and we really need to come together.
Indeed, man.
Perfect. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like
Get
that.
the likes up, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So where can we find you next? How can we tune in, etc.?
So you can always stay updated on my Facebook or my Instagram. On Instagram is love_Dorsey. And then on Facebook is Love Dorsey. Also in my bio on Instagram, if anybody's trying to book a one-on-one call, join my book club, my mentorship program. The number is in my bio, 678-965-0698. I'm always doing touring events. So stay tuned on my pages to get updates, to be able to see where I'm going to be at. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, July 6th for a live event. You can get your tickets by clicking the link in my bio. If anybody's trying to book me, you can reach out to the number in my bio on Instagram.
Word, none. It's very easy, seamless. You know, the responsiveness, just the professionalism is awesome, man. You know,
Yeah, and I want to give you, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to give you your flowers. Like, I enjoyed my time on here. The questions you asked me were very meaningful. I always respect and adore interviews where people are allowing me to kick my shit that is really educating my culture. So I commend you. Thank you for having me on. You know, I'm gonna even tune in here moving forward, just because I love the vibes, good vibes on here. Y'all gotta hit that like and subscribe button, because
that's a
this brother
fact.
doing some good shit.
That's a fact, though.
Shit like that.
Did you subscribe yet? Yes, of course you did, right?
Got to.
Shit like
Hey,
that.
man,
Shit like that.
I
Shit like
salute
that.
you.
Shit like that.
Keep grinding, keep doing your thing. If you ever in Houston or DC, I got goons. So just in case you need a bodyguard or two, let me know. And we'll continue to stay locked in, you know, 100%, man. 100%.
Yes, continue the conversation. I'm you got me in I'm a part of your family now on here.
Indeed.
All right.
I appreciate you, love. Be safe. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.